Thank you, Chair. Afternoon, Colonel. You could just have your mics ready.
Good afternoon, Commissioners.
Colonel, I would like now to turn to the day of the seizure. That's the 22nd of June, 2021. You start with that at page 11, at paragraph 11, on page 2 of your statement. You see that?
Yes, I do.
And you indicate that you had received information from Captain Duma of Crime Intelligence, and you describe the nature of the information. You then indicate, I called Mbangase after the call from Captain Duma. He indicated that he would brief Brigadier. Now you've clarified YOOOH accordingly. I asked him to inform the Brigadier that I was booking on duty to attend to the scene, or to the same. You were officially on leave from the 10th of June till the 30th of June, is that correct?
May have been the 10th, but not till the 30th. It was the 28th probably, because I was back at work on the 29th of June.
Okay, we'll cross-check that.
Yeah.
But it's official leave and it's loaded onto the SAP system.
That is correct, Commissioner.
So as far as the system is aware, you are not working as a core policeman during that time.
Yes, Commissioner, that's correct.
Now, you say here, I asked him to inform him that I was booking on duty. Can you explain to the commissioners how that happens? The system books you off, you are not there. How do you get to attend operations during that time? Do you require approval by your senior? And is it possible that your senior may refuse to grant approval, and what would the effect of that be?
Okay.
Or if I can just conclude, or is it entirely up to you to decide when during your leave you are back on duty and you are off on duty, from duty again?
Okay. My understanding, Commissioners, is when you're on leave, you're on leave. However, a policeman, if there's an accident or some circumstance, like a robbery is committed in front of you or some offense, you're obligated to act. So in those circumstances, yes, you may book yourself on duty. However, in this instance, this is not something that's urgent or life-threatening. I would have needed my commander to grant approval for me to resume duty or to book on duty and to conduct this operation.
Would your commander require an explanation as to why you must be booked back on duty, if it's not an urgent matter?
Yes, he would.
So now when you say you asked, Warrant Officer Mpanga said to inform him that you are booking on duty,
yes.
You were not seeking his permission. You were saying, inform him that I'm back on duty.
It's a play with words, but yes, I hear you, Commissioner. In fact, I'm supposed to request authority to book on duty.
So is your correct testimony that you asked Warrant Officer Mpanga said to request on your behalf from Brigadier YOOOH that you be back on duty for the 22nd to attend to this operation?
That would be correct.
Is that what you meant?
That's what I meant, Commissioner.
Now, and it's acceptable in SAPS and the PCI that you do that verbally. You don't have to make a formal request.
Yes,
it's not recorded anywhere that it has happened.
There is record of it. Probably your commander will make a pocket or diary entry to that effect. You as the subordinate would also make an entry to that effect, booked on duty. Maybe who did you inform, that type of thing. So it does happen in exceptional circumstances.
You remember that before we broke for lunch, we looked at your investigation diary, CJC 268, your handwritten diary that you helped us work through to understand.
Yes.
Would this not be a matter that is supposed to be reflected in the investigation diary?
Not necessarily in the investigation diary, Commissioner.
So it is reflected only in your commander's personal diary?
I would say in his diary, as well as informing our HRM, our persons that are in charge of leave and that sort of thing. So I think that would also be pertinent. And the reason I'm saying that is because sometimes members ask for the time due back at some point in time. So there must be official record thereof.
So are you suggesting perhaps Brigadier Nyuswa is the only one who can shed light on this to advise whether or not he informed HR and there was a formal record of you being back on duty?
It wouldn't be up to him to inform HR, Commissioner, because he sits at a different office. My HR person is at my building. So I would inform my HR person and make a photocopy of my diary as to what did I book on duty for and what were my duties for that day. And that would be stored in a time due register or a file that if you needed that time at some point in time, you can request it.
Did you do so on this day?
I didn't request that time back. But
Now, did you file the documentation that you just referenced?
No, I didn't file it. I just made a diary entry.
Why didn't you file it with HR for record purposes?
I didn't want to take that time back, Commissioner. It was not something that was a necessity for me.
It's time you're entitled to pay for. Why don't you want it back?
I was on leave for that period, and I worked for, I think, I left home just after 7 maybe, or 8, around there. I'm not sure I got back in the afternoon sometime, I would think even before 4. So I wasn't really concerned about that time. In fact, if I may go further to add, I love my job. You know, I look forward to working. It gives me a thrill to do a drug bust or any operation. And maybe if I may go further, Commissioners, with your indulgence, when I looked at my diary, even I see on the 22nd of March this year, as recent as that, I had come back from a vacation in Margate and still on vacation leave. And one of my SANEB guys called me to assist to execute a search warrant where the occupant was only at home for certain periods, for an hour at a time. So every time my members went out, they were missing him. So at this point in time, it was a Sunday. I had just arrived from Margate, and he's a captain now, I won't mention his name, gave me a call to say he's trying for his SANEB members, and they're going to take a while to mobilize because none of them were in the area. And he asked me, and my name's always on every search warrant they do, because I'm very operational. So he asked me to come through and assist. So I went there, we intercepted the guy before he could leave, and the members joined maybe about 45 minutes later. So my point in relaying the story is that it's not out of the ordinary in our line of work to book on duty, whether you're on leave or it's a weekend or whichever. Thank you.
Civic duty.
Yes, yes, Commissioner.
Now,
you make the time you participated in this operation to be minimal. Based on what you say, it was actually a whole day.
Yes,
it was a whole day.
Yes, it was. Yes.
Yeah, no, I just want to clear that because you sounded as if you were making it very minimal.
Sorry, Chair. Yes, and I still proceeded to be on vacation leave thereafter. You know,
I get that. Okay. I'm just talking about this one day.
No, you're correct, sir.
Can I ask one question on this topic? Because you were on leave, the decision you make to book yourself for the purposes of doing this, why did you not assign it to somebody in your team who was equally capable of assisting? Why did it have to be you?
Commissioner, it's not every day that you get an opportunity to participate in an operation where you're stopping or you're inspecting a container that's suspected to contain drugs. It's something that, for me, it was something that was worth going to work for, to obviously check this information out.
My difficulty with that is that if you look at your entry, at this point, all you knew that it was 27 kilograms, just one bag. So it was not something that was so significant that you needed to break away from your leave and be the one who attends, even a junior officer or somebody in your team who is capable of attending a bust of 27 kilograms could have done that. We subsequently learned that it was more, but
Yes.
at the time when you took the decision, you were told that it's 27 kilograms.
Okay.
So I don't understand why it was so important for you to say, I'm on leave, but I will participate.
Okay. I've got a response, Commissioner. We only became aware of the number that Captain Duma, that at that stage, Captain Duma, the number of kilos that he suspected was only relayed to us when we reached Isipingo and did a briefing prior to proceeding towards CHC. We proceeded to Isipingo area where my two members, together with myself, met with Captain Duma. It's only then that he told us it was 27 kilograms, Commissioner.
Yeah, but
Can
you keep changing that, to fit with the timeline. I had understood that when they called you, you were at home. They gave you this information. They came to pick you up. Now you are saying you only found out when you arrived at the depot that it was 27.
Not the depot, Commissioner. Prior to the depot, maybe it's here in my statement somewhere. I'll look at it. I'll tell you which paragraph.
Paragraph 13.
Paragraph 13. We met with Captain Duma in the Isipingo area. He informed us that there were alleged to be 27 pieces of cocaine in a container number, and I go on to name the container.
Now you
May
see
I-
27 pieces and 27 kilograms because I'm reading from your investigation diary on page 800. 27 pieces, I thought it's something different. Because here you say information received from CI was that a container containing plus minus 27 kilos.
Okay.
And then
Yes. Where are we reading that from, Commissioner?
CJC
Yes.
268 at page 800. That is your investigation diary.
Okay. All right.
The first entry.
Yes. Okay, Commissioner, this entry is made by Warrant Officer Mpangase, right? He lists information received from CI was that a container containing plus minus 27 kilos of the drug cocaine was kept at Isipingo. So I'm not sure what time he made it, but he made it on the 22nd of the 6th. And 22nd of the 6th is when I became aware it was 27 kilos or units, pieces or units, only when I proceeded with them to Isipingo and we did a deep or a briefing initially with Captain Duma. That's when the quantity that was alleged to be within the container was indicated to us.
So as far as you are concerned, when you decided to get away from your leave, it could even have been 5 kilograms because
Yes, it could have.
that's why I still don't understand your decision that I'm on leave, but I will participate. Other team members will not participate. I will do it.
If I can just pick it up from there, and that is my challenge. Because according to your investigation diary, that was the first entry you read. The first entry gives you the weight. It gives you container number.
Yes,
It's the second entry reads thus.
yes,
Myself, Lieutenant Colonel Jacob, Warrant Officer Sibia from Durban DPCI, together with CI member proceeded to Isipingo Prospection Warehouse. You see that?
yes, I see.
So from this document, it appears the information was there before you even got to the harbor.
Yes, Commissioner. I think maybe Warrant Officer Pangas just got it mixed up because, Commissioner, with all due respect, if you look at every statement, every document in this inquiry, nothing reflects otherwise.
Okay, let me ask this question. At the time you received the call, before you were picked up from home at 7,
Yes,
please summarize the information you had received.
yes. Okay, at that stage when Captain Duma had called, he reminded me that, you remember I told you there's something coming on a container. It's at Isipingo, I think he did tell me, but he didn't give me quantity. And I told him I'm on vacation leave. He didn't have to insist that much. I was wanting to go, honestly. So when he told me there's this information that we should meet, he's spoken to Mpangase, and that we should meet at Isipingo. Then I told him, okay, I'll talk to Mpangase. I'll ask him I need to book on duty, but I will come through. So it was only when we proceeded to Isipingo, even in the vehicle, Pangase never knew the amount, according to me, because we didn't discuss any of that, even Colonel Spear. None of us knew the quantity until, for me personally, I'm talking for myself, none of that was discussed. It was only when Captain Duma met us in Prospecton, prior to going to CHC depot, we met at some garage, that he briefed us on the container number together with the alleged quantity of narcotics within that container.
So technically, when you decided to book yourself on duty, you can't say it was because it was at the prospect of a large drug seizure, because you had absolutely no idea as to size.
No, I didn't have any idea.
You just booked yourself on because it was a drug bust, a potential drug bust.
Because, yes, and more especially a container was involved, Commissioner.
And what's the relevance of a container?
You don't get a container inspection or information pertaining to a container every day. It's something that rarely happens. I know between 2020 and 2022, we had a lot of those. But prior to that and even subsequent after that, these are very few and far between. It's not every day that you get one of these busts.
I don't understand, because at paragraph 14, you are the one who introduced the notion of rip-on, rip-off load. And that view you formed immediately upon seeing the container. And then overleaf, you then describe this modus operandi. And I read all you have set out there.
Yes.
As deriving from your experience, that with these containers, you know the rip-on, rip-off modus operandi. So now you are saying you were excited because it's a container. Yeah. But at 1415, it sounds like you have had experience in rip-on, rip-off operations involving containers. So, unless I'm misunderstanding you.
Yes, once again, Commissioner, I've been to a few, but I'm saying it's not every day like catching a street dealer or somebody, a drug dealer that we've been targeting. This is something that's coming from another country. It's a commodity that's originated from there. There's a little more. It's more satisfying when you seize or are involved in an operation of this nature.
Okay.
So can I please ask a slightly different question? I understood you to say earlier that your commander was, I think, Colonel Domo.
Yes.
So why do you speak to Nyuswa instead of your immediate commander that you are booking onto duty?
Okay. Commissioner, I'm going to try and say this with no disrespect to the Colonel Glomo. Colonel Glomo had come back on a contract to work within the SEPs. It's those members that went off at 60, and then there was an opportunity to come back on a contract. And the colonel was not very much au fait with operational matters or anything of that nature. It's by virtue of her rank and seniority that she was acting unit commander. And at that stage, they were rotating maybe on a 2-week basis. I can't recall, but there was not somebody placed there permanently or for a longer duration that now you could engage with and keep them posted on your developments. So it was wrong. I should have contacted her, but she was not one of those colonels that was hands-on with operations or anything of that nature. It was understood that anything of operational nature would be discussed with our brigadier, or he would be the one to give you guidance or whatever you needed. Thank you.
Except here, according to you, you didn't speak to Colonel Nyuswa. You sent Mpangase, Warrant Officer Mpangase, to do that. So you're not discussing anything operational with Nyuswa.
Yes.
You actually just sent somebody to say, just brief him or whatever, that I'm coming on to duty. So that can't be, what you've just said now can't explain why you skip your immediate commander. And remember that in your earlier evidence, you said you inform your immediate commander. So Nyuswa is not your immediate commander. Still, the question is, why do you not comply with the requirement that if you are signing on back to duty in these circumstances, you speak to your commander, you inform your commander? That's if you would answer that first, actually.
Yes. Commissioner, I've got no valid reason for not doing so. It was an error on my part.
Okay. And even with Nyuswa, you don't speak to him. You get a warrant officer, someone much junior to you, that you get him to be the one that tells that senior person, Nyuswa, that you are coming back on duty instead of you reporting yourself to be back on duty. Can you just explain, because it is an anomaly?
Yes.
Why do you behave that way?
Commissioner, initially when Pangase told me he's going to brief the brigadier, I assumed he's going personally to him to brief him. And I know in the mornings is the time that our brigadier normally is engaged with whatever duties he does. But that being said, I thought Pangase was going to have a one-on-one and inform him what's happening. But even though it's not stated in my statement, the brigadier did remind me that I did call him, you know, even prior to when I first allude to in my statement, where I say that was at Isipingo parking area that I called him. And
that's not my question. Yeah. My question is, when you send Mpangase to brief Nyuswa that you are coming back on duty, why do you send Mpangase? You have his number. You have Nyuswa's number. Yes. I must assume.
Yes.
The requirement, as you explain it, is you tell your commander. Right? We've established you don't tell your commander. You speak to somebody else who is above your commander. But the second question that I'm asking you now is, well, why do you not speak to Nyuswa yourself to report yourself back on duty? Because you're reporting back on duty, right? Why do you not do that?
I can't give you an answer, Commissioner, but if Pangase, he did give me feedback that the brigadier said it's okay. But if...
Maybe he lied. My concern is not what Mpangase said to you. Yeah. My concern is to get a satisfactory explanation for this obvious irregularity. It's an obvious irregularity. You are on leave, one. So the context matters. You are on leave. You get a call to be told there are these drugs. You don't speak to your commander to say, I'm signing on to duty. You don't speak to your commander, you skip your commander. You speak to Nyuswa that eventually there are problems, his involvement with this eventually. But you don't speak to your commander. You send a warrant officer, someone junior to you, to speak to Nyuswa. You knew he was not going to talk to your commander. You send him to speak. When he says, I'll speak to the brigadier, you say, you knew he was going to speak to Nyuswa because your commander was on and off, and it was known that you speak to Nyuswa about matters operational. So we know you never were under any impression that Mpangase was going to speak to your commander. You knew he's going to speak to Nyuswa. And all I'm asking you is, why do you not call Nyuswa yourself? Now that you've decided the person to speak to is Nyuswa, not Lomo, why do you not call him yourself?
I've got no response to that, Commissioner. I should have.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner.
On that...
oh, yes, sir.
Thank you. On the reason that you give about your immediate commander, which is that she was not involved in operational matters, I will not accept that at face value. You are on leave, and all that you needed to do was to report that I'm coming back. I'm no longer going to be on leave just for this limited period. I see nothing operational in that. That's admin. I see you nodding your head, so you agree with me. That's pure admin.
Yes.
So basically, you have not responded to Commissioner Baloyi's question.
Yes, Chair. I should have. It was an error on my part. I should have.
So you accept that you did not do what you had to do, and you basically had no reason for not doing it. This thing about operational simply does not apply.
Yes. I concede.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you, Chair. So now we know that you and Warrant Officer Mpangase are now aware of this potential operation, and you decide to attend to the scene, correct?
Yes, correct.
Would I be correct to say, technically, the DPCI operation has started, or not yet?
At which point, Commissioner?
Once you decide you are going to CHC depot to follow up on the information given by Captain Duma of Crime Intelligence?
For me, I would say once I was fetched by my members, it would have commenced. For me, that's when my duty would have commenced.
No, not duty. I want to know, when does the operation? Yeah. In your understanding?
Yes, in my understanding, the operation is actually at the scene where you're operationalizing this intelligence. So for me, the operation would have commenced upon our arrival at CHC depot.
May I suggest that it has to be before, because firstly, as to who turns up to follow up on the information is a decision that must be taken.
Yes.
And that decision must be based on a purpose.
Yes.
Right? And that is the start of the operation. It can't be when you all arrive and then you say the operation commences. That's not how you run operations. I would like to believe that even in this PCI, when you decide to move from your offices to a particular place in pursuit of something or intelligence received, you are already in an operation. Do you have a difficulty with that proposition?
No, I agree with you.
Okay. Now, accepting then that this is what happened here, you are the most senior. Am I correct at the time?
That's correct.
You are in charge of this, and I'll put it in inverts, if you are more comfortable, quote unquote, operation.
Yes.
Who decides the team to carry out this operation?
In this instance, it was myself.
It was you.
Yes.
Now, so you decided to involve Warrant Officer Mpangazo. Do you say that decision was already made for you?
That decision was made already by Captain Duma.
Did you have any power to override it?
If I wanted to, yes, they would have been.
Okay. And then who's the next member of your team?
It was at that stage Warrant Officer Sibia.
And that was your choice. He was your choice.
Yes, he was.
Was he also chosen by, and I say chosen in inverts, by Captain Duma, or was that your personal choice?
That was my choice, Commissioner.
And on what basis was that? Why did you decide on him that he's the best person suited for this operation?
Okay. If my memory serves me correctly, when Pangase called me, when I called Pangase and he had informed me that Duma had already spoken to him.
Yes.
At that stage, we knew we were going to operationalize this. And Pangase was at that stage going around the office, checking who's around. So I'm not sure what he had said to me. I'm not sure, I can't really recall, but I asked him, check if KG is there, KG Sibia. Just for the purpose of, manpower, and we have our colleagues that somehow we tend to choose. Obviously, if there's 10 members and you only require 3, I'm just saying, you will choose those that you have worked with before, that you've got a good understanding with. So there wasn't that much thought behind it, but just put somebody that you normally work with and you've got a good understanding with.
And also, it wasn't made on the basis that you appreciated this is a potential drug bust, that you say it's Warrant Officer Sibia?
Yes.
Warrant Officer Sibia potentially brings some expertise in that regard. That is not the basis of your decision.
No.
You just thought of a name and you decided he'll join.
He's competent enough, although he was not a fundi in drug cases, he's a detective.
Okay.
Yes.
Now you're going to the depot, which is around the harbor area. Earlier, in response, I think, to a question posed by the chair, you made reference to joint operations and you spoke of the involvement of SARS.
Yes.
Did you at that time consider this to be potentially a joint operation or not?
No, not at all at that stage, Commissioner. No.
At that stage, you didn't?
No.
Okay. So if it wasn't a joint operation, then it was a pure DPCI operation.
Yes, and DPCI and crime intelligence.
And crime intelligence, yes, your source. Did it at any juncture become a joint operation in your understanding?
We
And if so, under what circumstances?
okay, I'm using the term loosely joint operation, but whilst on the scene, we requested assistance from border police. So I don't know whether technically we can define it. I don't think it's a joint operation because they were not briefed. They were not expecting to be of assistance to us. So I wouldn't call it a joint operation.
So it really was never a joint
No,
operation?
it was not.
I would like you to jump to your paragraph 18. And there is a statement you make in paragraph 18 that I want to make sure I don't misunderstand. See, the paragraph that starts upon inspection of one of the bags, okay?
Yes.
The third sentence in that paragraph reads, there were other border police cargo operations team unit,
Yeah.
inspection unit, uniform members at the depot that were inspecting other containers. You see that?
Yes, that's correct.
Were these people, I'm trying to understand why you make the statement here. Were they part of your operation or you're just mentioning police teams that were at the depot doing their own jobs, inspecting other containers? I'm not sure I understand that statement.
Okay, but I just wanted to describe how did the border police come about to assist or to convey exhibits, these drugs to the police station, and it was upon my request.
So they were part of your operation?
Eventually, they were part of it after me requesting assistance, more especially in terms of transporting exhibits from point A to point B.
Now, if we go to CJC 268, perhaps maybe I'm slow in understanding. At page 801 of that exhibit, perhaps let's start at 800, at point 4 at the bottom. So I start the point at the beginning. The container was properly closed and locked, the seal intact. The seal was broken and the container was opened in the presence of supervisor of the warehouse. I take it that is Ms. Pile.
Yes.
Customs official Mtutuko Kuzwayo. You see that?
Yes, I see that.
ORS members, Sergeant Mkize and Sergeant Govender, and 27 black canvas bags were observed placed right at the end of the something commodity, just behind the container doors. Cargo commodity. Thank you, Chair. Cargo/commodity. You see that?
Yes, I see that, Commissioner.
The people listed here, did they just happen to be around or were they part of this particular operation? Because when I read the investigation diary, it sounds like they were part of your operation and officially there to witness the breaking of the seal. And then here in your statement, you say that they were inspecting other containers. So I'm trying, are they here by chance? Are they here as part of an operation? Where do we land?
You know, Commissioners, if memory serves me correctly, they were not present when the actual container was placed, when the photos were taken of it, the lock being cut open. According to my memory of that day, they were not present for that. They were not present for that. It's only after us discovering this 27 bags that it piqued interest around the warehouse, and I think even they walked towards the area, and that's how it came about that I asked for assistance.
So Warrant Officer Mpangase is wholly wrong in what he has reported in this investigation that.
I stand to be corrected, but my memory tells me that the border police guys just came a short while after discovering the narcotics, the black canvas bags.
Now, you recall earlier we discussed the issue of monthly, quarterly inspection. And you referred me to the statements you had obtained during your investigation. And you said that those statements have got a date attached to them, and that will at least demonstrate to the commissioners that these entries were not effected post fact. Okay?
Yes.
Now, I looked at this, and in fact, when I look at the inquiry, firstly, you don't state in your statement that there was a customs official by the name of Mtutuko Kuzwayo. And when I look at the investigation diary, there is no statement by this customs official.
Okay. Just bear with me, Commissioner, please. It's this one.
Can I help you? What are you looking for?
I'm looking for my original statement, Commissioner, that I did file in the inquiry. I'm not sure where it is in your bundle, but I know I've
Well, give me a date. I perhaps will be able to help you. Please try page 574,
Yeah.
CJC 243.1. He said the first one.
CJ?
I want you to look at CJC 243.1 at 574.
Yes.
So that is, the first statement is unsigned that we find in the inquiry file. Is that the statement you are looking for?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Okay.
It should be the unsigned statement. Okay, this is the document you were looking for, Colonel.
Yes, yes.
Okay, you can then deal with it.
Okay. Paragraph 5 of the said statement, Commissioner.
Yes.
Line 3. So I mentioned SAPS members mentioned above, as well as Mtutuko Kuzwayo from Customs.
Yes, continue.
Yeah, I see that I did write here. Sergeant Simkize and P. Governor from ORS, I did erroneously, I would think, Commissioner, and maybe if I had to elaborate on that. When I looked at the statements, preparing for the commission, I saw that the border police guys did not, in their statement, state that they saw the breaking of the seal. So to them, so I think when I put it here, I just wrote from my memory thinking they were, but when I did go through the inquiry again, I noted that none of those two members mentioned that they witnessed the breaking of the seal. So this is not corrected, Commissioner.
This is your first statement.
Yes, it was.
The very first. And you say this statement, the very first you did, is not correct. So it would have been, when would you have made it? It's not dated.
Yes.
What day? It doesn't have a date, a month. When do you think you prepared this one?
I can't say, Commissioner.
Okay, I can tell you that your next statement, which is CJC 243.6,
Yeah.
is dated the 9th of November, just to give you perspective.
Okay.
So when do you think this one would have come into being?
Definitely before that.
Before.
Yes.
And then if you go back to your investigation diary, why is it you, the investigating officer, never sought or obtained a statement from this customs official, Mtutuko Kuzwayo?
Okay, let me look through the investigation. Bear with
Yeah,
me,
please.
Commissioner. Whether it was taken. Tell me, does this, Commissioner, does this bundle have all of the statements that that were deposed to in the inquiry?
I'm going by your investigation diary.
My investigation.
They are listed
Okay.
here.
Okay,
Yes.
let me look at
And
that.
this particular statement is not one of them.
That notwithstanding, Colonel, do you remember yourself ever contacting this customs official in Tutugo Kuzwayo, or rather getting a statement from him?
I'm just going to quickly check here, Chair, please, if you bear with me. I'm going to check it.
So you basically say the possibility is there that you might have taken the statement, but you've forgotten.
Yes, yes.
All right,
I
okay.
can't recall.
Okay.
I would have thought it would have been prudent to do so.
Okay, you may look then.
I can confirm that based on the inquiry file we have,
Yes.
we haven't come across such a statement. And I can accept that perhaps it may have become mislaid in the file. So I thought the investigation diary will clarify for me whether or not it was ever obtained.
Yes.
And my challenge is I see your investigation diary makes no reference to that particular statement of the customs official.
Yes, there's no statement I see.
It doesn't.
Yes.
So my concern is, as you correctly stated your paragraph 18, these were just observers to what was happening. If that Kuzwayo was on the scene, it was not in his official capacity as a customs officer. Do you accept that? To witness this particular operation.
Commissioner, now it's coming back to me.
Yes.
This Ntutuko Kuzwayo was the customs liaison guy for CHC. I had it wrong when I said he's from customs, because when they did identify him, all that stuck in my head, I think, was customs. So I thought of him as a customs official. But I think subsequently it turns out that he was somebody attached to the depot whose job it was to engage with customs, something of that nature. But, for now, that's what's coming to my mind. That when I said customs, I think at a later stage we realized, no, this guy is not really customs. When they said customs, he's the one who deals with customs issues. So it's maybe because of that, and I'd taken statements from lots of other eyewitnesses at the depot. So maybe, I'm just thinking in hindsight, maybe I had enough statements from witnesses. That is why I didn't obtain his. But I stand to be corrected there. That's just my memory of it.
And in fact, it is so that you personally, as the lead of this team, did not seek to involve any custom official or customs, or invited them to the operation. You didn't.
No, I did not, Commissioner.
You didn't.
Yes.
So then, once again, the commissioners must accept that Warrant Officer Mbanga's entry in the investigation diary that the seal was broken in the presence of inter alia customs official Ntutuko Kuzwayo is wholly misleading. There was no such customs official.
Yes, yes, you're correct, Commissioner.
Would it be fair to suggest to you that that is done deliberately by Warrant Officer Mbangase and done deliberately by you in your first unsigned statement at paragraph 5 to give the semblance of officialdom to this operation? Would it be?
No, Commissioner.
Why would it not?
There would be no benefit to just include somebody, just say he's from customs for the sake of it, because any detective that knows what's what will know that you're going to get caught out with this. It's not something, it was not something done maliciously or with any intent behind it. I think it was just when we took down notes of, it would have been Pangas, as to who was on the scene, warehouse manager, there I see there's a security, I won't go with the name, but from HIMAX Security, there was different officials around, or different staff members from the warehouse. So it's possible, when this guy even used a reflector, from what I could gather, that looks somewhat like what customs guys use on the scene as well. So maybe that was part of the reason. But I'm sure even if we look at who this person is, maybe he's got some customs on his title or so that could have thrown us off, but it was not intentional, Commissioner.
Can I raise my difficulty with this? One, this is a second instance of the investigation diary not being an accurate reflection of what in fact happened. The first, remember, it is your entry that is dated the 23rd of June. We had that discussion earlier and established that to the extent that represents to a reader that entry was made on the day by you, on the 23rd, that is misleading.
Yes.
This is a second thing. This time the entry is made by Warrant Officer Mpangase. There was no customs official present when the seal was broken. You have explained that you have since found out that he is in fact a person who is a liaison for CHC, not a custom officials. So that's misrepresentation in your diary. And then there's Sergeant Mkhize and Govender. They were not there when the seal was broken. That is a misrepresentation. In fact, you say that you in your statement that to the commission, you don't mention them as present because you've seen their statement that they don't speak to being present. So that's another instance that this investigation diary, one, a reader has to be cautious when reading it, not accept without more that what it reflects is accurate. Do you accept that's a fair position to take? Okay. And lastly, my concern is you in your statement seem to, and this is the statement at 574, the one that you made in 2021, which is not dated. You basically copied what Mpangase said in the investigation diary or in your discussion with him at paragraph 5, where you say there's Ntutuko Kuzwayo from Customs, Sergeant Mkhize and P. Govender. You list exactly the same people that he entered in the investigation diary. You basically copied from there. This statement in 2021, immediately, fresh after the incident, whenever in 2021 that was, it would still have been very fresh, contains matter that is not correct. And you would have known that as you put it down as what you are saying and what you observed is in fact inaccurate.
Yes,
and it's misleading.
I can concede it's misleading.
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. And if we move to CJC, 243.6, that is now your second statement, CJC 243.6. That is a signed statement dated the 9th of November.
Page?
It starts at page 589, Chair.
589.
Yes,
Thank you.
thank you. Have you located it, Colonel?
1 second, Commissioner. 589. Yeah, got it. Yes.
Now, if you go to page 592, that's where your signature appears, and it's dated 9th November 2021. Correct?
Yes, correct.
Now, let's go back a bit, and we go to your paragraph 7 of that statement. You say the seal was intact and correspondent with that on the document, seal number H1905754 refers. The seal was broken by an employee of the warehouse in the presence of the warehouse manager, security officer, ORS members, Captain Duma, and DPCI members.
Yes.
The customs official has disappeared here. Is it because you realized the error that it was never a customs official? What's happening?
Yes, it could be the case.
No, I want to know if it is the case or
Yes, because it came back to my memory, which means I discovered it at some point in time, so it would make sense that I...
How did you discover?
Maybe while talking to the warehouse manager, I'm not even sure, but we did obtain a statement from the warehouse manager. It's quite possible that while engaging with the, it came out that this guy he's not really a customs official. He's somebody who works for the warehouse.
See, when you answer that way, then it's quite possible that that is not how you discovered.
It's possible. I'm just
Okay. So
speculating.
somehow, miraculously, you were able to correct this error. Let's continue.
Sorry, but you also don't mention that customs person liaison, even after you say you have, look at the list of who you mention. So it's not just a function of you've since clarified that the person you thought was a customs official is in fact a custom liaison person of CHC.
Yeah.
In fact, he finds no mention whatsoever. So you're one person short now.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
And if we continue for that now, we have to go back to your original statement. And I take it this is actually your best statement because your memory is at its very best. The unsigned statement at 574.
Yes.
Subsequent statements in memory fades, so we get our facts slightly wrong.
Yes.
Now, on this statement at paragraph 5, we have now discounted any custom member by the name of Kututuko Kuzwayo or otherwise. You say there was Sergeant W. Mkize and P. Govender from ORS Durban Harbour.
Yes.
See that?
Yes.
Who are those?
It's the same members that assisted with regards to conveying those exhibits, those border police members.
How did they get to be on the scene?
And they were there conducting their duties at CHC depot.
Their own duties.
Yes, that's
So how do they become part of your operation?
upon my request, Commissioner,
Or
for assistance with regards to conveying exhibits from the depot to the police station.
also, these are the ORS members who were working at the Durban Harbour, and you personally requested them to assist you with transportation.
That's correct.
They were not part of the breaking of the seal and all that.
No, not. As I said, Commissioner, it's upon reading their statements, preparing for here, that I realized they were not part of that.
But if you go to your statement of the 9th of November, you still maintain there were ORS members at the scene during this operation. Which ones are they? If
Yes.
it's not these two who you happen to call as they pass to help you with transportation. Which ORS members
It's
are
the same two, Commissioner.
Oh, so you hadn't realized this error by the time you deposed to your second statement?
Yes, that's correct.
So you maintain that error?
Yes.
And you
it's
call
an
them
error.
ORS members at the scene?
I did call them, and to set the record straight. When preparing for the commission, when I looked through the inquiry, I was the one that obtained both statements from Mkize and Governor. And it's only when I obtained that I did realize nowhere did they speak about them observing us break the lock. And that's why today I can sit here and say it with confidence. But somehow when we did this operation, it was in my mind that ORS was there and they witnessed it, hence I put it there. But it was not with any intention to mislead anybody, Commissioner.
Okay, let's go to their statements and see what they say. That will be CJC 261 and CJC 262, starting at page 777. 777. That is the first statement. Are you there yet, Colonel?
Not yet, Commissioner, please bear with me.
Yeah, no. You'll get assistance.
261, 262, CJC 261.
CJC.
One, okay. Got it,
Okay.
got it, Commissioner.
Now, the first statement, CJC 261,
Yes,
is by Kubendren Govender.
yes, that's
Is that
correct.
correct? And the next one is by Wanda Kolani, but the surname is at the bottom, and that's Mukize. These are the two ORS members you say were present during the operation.
That's correct.
Okay. Let's look at Sergeant Govender at 777. He gives his details and the like. Now let's go to paragraph 3. At paragraph 3, and I'll read this in the record, I quote, during the course of our duties, we approached, if I may start in paragraph 2. The last two sentences. We, and by we, he references himself and Sergeant Mkhize. You see that? At paragraph 2, he mentions that my crew was Sergeant Mkhize on this particular day of the 22nd day of June.
Yes, correct.
Okay, then he continues still at paragraph 2. We were posted from our office to do inspection on certain listed containers at CHC depot. In prospecting, do you see that?
Yes, I see that.
This is our daily routine at the same depot and other depot places. The next paragraph, he states, during the course of our duties, we were approached by the male person identified himself as Colonel Jacob from DPCI Durban. He informed us that they recovered drugs from one of the containers at the same container depot we were busy at. He further requested us to assist them transporting the exhibits with our state vehicle, and we agreed to assist them. So, according to Sergeant Govender, they were not even present because they were informed that you had discovered the drugs.
Yes.
So both your statements are wrong to say that they are the two ORS members you say were present during the breaking of the seal.
Yes, I concede that.
Okay. And they say that you actually approached them while they were executing their normal duties to ask them simply to request to assist you in transporting the exhibits. That's all that's the only role they played.
Yes, yes, that's the role they played in terms of conveying exhibits, Commissioner.
Now, at the last paragraph of that same statement, Sergeant Govender states the container they recovered the drugs from was not part of the containers we were to inspect, and we were not part of their operation.
Yes, yes, Commissioner. That's, I've alluded to their role. If he deems that not to be part of the operation, I can't disagree with him.
You made them part of the operation as ORS members consistently in your statement, and that is wrong. And you knew that is not correct because this is what you requested of them to do. They were busy with their own business on the day. Literally, you saw them pass and you said, hey, can you bring I need transport. That's all you ever did. He specifically says we were not part of their operation. How could you make a mistake and say that they were part of your operation?
Yes, Commissioner, if I may go to the statement that we did obtain and file in the inquiry, would that help shed some light? It's a different statement to this one that you've got on CJC 261.
Okay, we'll try and locate it. But you see, if CJC 261 at the top is written Durban's SOCI inquiry case number 28/06/2021. That's your inquiry file.
Yes, that's correct.
So which other statement are
I'm
you?
going to look for it now.
Try and describe it, and we'll see if we can help locate.
While he's busy with that, I see that on the same page, 777, paragraph 2.
Yes.
He said, Advocate Silo, the statement referred to in paragraph 2 on page 770.
Yes. Oh, yes. Where it says I would like to further my statement I submitted. There is a first statement. We'd have to go into the inquiry file for that, right?
Oh, is it the same statement he's referring to?
It has got to be the same statement, but it's in the same inquiry file.
Okay, thank you.
So there seemingly was a statement by this Sergeant Govender. This is his second statement, but both in the inquiry. Are you suggesting that the first statement would be inconsistent with what is set out in this second statement? This is a more extensive statement.
Just going to look at the content quickly. I've got both here. Please bear with me.
No. Have you managed to locate the first?
Yeah, I have.
Okay.
Yes. I've got this first statement. It's filed as A20 in the original.
The A20, that's
Yes.
fine. We'll locate it.
Should I read it, Commissioner?
Please.
Okay, it's the statement of Sergeant Govender. He goes with his parcel and his rank and all of that. Then paragraph 2, on the 22nd of June 2021, I reported for duty in full regulation uniform at 7:15 and was in the company of Sergeant Mkhize. I was posted as a driver of Mark State motor vehicle, Hyundai, and he goes on to give the vehicle details, conducting container inspections at the CHC and ICS depots. Whilst busy with container inspections at the CHC depot at 14th Avenue, the East Prospecton, I was approached by 2 other police officials dressed in civilian attire. They identified themselves as Lieutenant Colonel Jacob from DPCI and another Captain Duma from Crime Intelligence. They had inspected container number, and we go on with the container number, and had identified some black canvas bags that allegedly had cocaine in them. Sergeant Mkhize and I were requested to assist with loading these bags into our vehicle and conveying them to Springo SAP. Sergeant Mkhize and I, together with other DPCI members, transferred these black bags from the container into the H1 Mark State vehicle that I was driving. I counted 27 such bags. We were escorted by Lieutenant Colonel Jacob and his team to Isipingo SAP, where we assisted in offloading the black bags. The DPCI members were busy counting the yellow and black bricks of suspected cocaine when we left the scene. From my observations, each bag contained approximately 20 such bricks. We then left the scene and proceeded with our normal duties.
So is that statement you just read inconsistent with the one we have here? It's still about
Yeah, but more
being
or less the
approached by
same
you
content.
to request
Yes.
with providing transport.
That's correct, Commissioner.
Okay.
For our record, it's on 627.
On 627.
Yes.
So we can accept these were not the ORS members part of the operation, whether on the version of this first statement or this one, they were not.
Their role was limited, if I may put it that way, Commissioner.
They had no role until you requested them to provide
Yes,
transport.
yes, they were not part of it. I can see it, Commissioner.
And if you go at 262, page 779, that is then the statement in the same inquiry of Sergeant Wanda Kolani Mkhize. It's worded in more or less the same terms.
Yes.
Please cast your eye and satisfy yourself. He confirms, it's literally written the same way, except he states that he was a crew of a marked vehicle, given the details, driven by Sergeant Govender.
Yes.
Then he states as so then the commissioners can accept we're at a point where we know in this operation there were no customs official. You never contacted any and there were none at the scene.
May I comment to that?
Say that again?
May I make a comment?
Absolutely, please do.
Okay. There's no obligation on the police to include customs on any operation, or more especially, not more especially, on a drug operation. There's no obligation on the police to call customs out. Our mandate is to deal with transnational drug trafficking, drug consignments coming through harbors, national key points. So there's no obligation on us to call customs out.
And just for the record, I'm not imposing any obligation. I'm just clarifying as to who was at the scene.
Yes, customs was not
Okay,
there.
we will get to the obligation. As we understand it, when these containers are at the depot, they haven't cleared customs. Do you have a different understanding?
I know I don't.
You know that.
In fact, I'm not 100% clear on that, to be honest, but you may proceed, Commissioner.
So if the evidence as we have it is correct that they haven't cleared customs, they would still be within customs jurisdiction, logically.
Yes, I would think so.
So do you want to maintain that there would be no obligation to inform them that you are on their territory and carrying out an operation?
I still maintain that we had no obligation. We We're not looking at customs offences.
No, on the basis that you are within their area of responsibility and you are carrying out an operation. You say you have no obligation even to give them a courtesy call.
There's no obligation, Commissioner.
Is that how you treat every corner of South Africa?
No, Commissioner, if I may comment on that as well, it's not the norm. With the operations that, although I may not have been the investigating officer, but on the numerous operations that I've attended, lots of them, I would say 60% or even 70%, don't have customs official present.
Can we just check with respect to these, not the other percentages? This particular operation.
Yes.
We know from evidence, and you have also said that from the docket, you did see a detention notice on the C section or something. So we are dealing with a container which is under the control of customs, as in customs has given a detention notice. And I want to understand how it is that they have stopped a container for inspection. We know it was bone meal in there, and we know that it needed to be checked for that reason by a vet if there are no other reasons at all. And you go there, you're saying you open a container that is being kept or detained on the instruction of SARS or customs, and they have no interest in you open that container and what you do. Is that what you're saying?
Commissioner, I think I need to point out that we only became aware of customs interest in this container after this operation. Remember, the customs detention notice is dated the 23rd of June, 2021. We conducted the operation on the 22nd of June, 2021. Had somebody informed me, whether it be the warehouse or anybody informed me that customs had a detention notice or intended to detain these containers, then we would have gladly invited them on board.
Can I just amend my question?
Yes.
It is not under detention, but it is still under control of customs. It hasn't cleared customs. I think that's a conversation you've had right now, and you accept that it hadn't cleared customs. It's sitting in the depot. If it hasn't cleared customs, which it must still do, are you saying customs will let you walk in, open it, do whatever you want to do, remove what you want to remove, and you walk on, and then they will happily later on do whatever they normally do in clearing that container without knowing or any sight at all of what you came on and did on that container? Is that how you say it works?
Commissioner, my understanding is, as much as we can say, it's not a must that customs need to check every container that has bone meal in it. It's not their duty to do that, to check every container that has bone meal in it. The detention notice, in my understanding, had very little or nothing to do with the actual commodity. The person whose duty it is to view that commodity or make sure it meets the required standards is the State Vet Department of Agriculture. So customs, in my opinion, or in my understanding, once it had left the harbor, it went to a depot. The next step in that whole process was, I think the State Vet would have come through and inspected to make sure all is in order. However, to me, it was going to be transported. The next step was it was going to reach its consignee. I'm not aware of customs checking every consignment of bone meal just by virtue of it being.
Well, the evidence that we have received, if I understood it correctly, it is that because it is bone meal, it necessarily falls in the category of things that must be checked. They cannot come into the country without checking.
Yes.
So I'm asking you the question, and our understanding was it is customs that flags it for it to be parked so that it can be checked for that purpose. And really the essence of my question is, someone else, another agency has an interest in this, and you know it's bone meal. You do. so another agency has an interest in it. Are you saying the manner in which things operate, as it's such that you can come in, open it up, do whatever you do in the absence of that other party agency, that other state agency which has an interest in the container, and then you move on, and in their good time they'll come and do their whatever they do with it without any insight into what you did, and then later on, as we know it happened here, you are the one that comes back to release it, to say to the clearing agent, this can go. I'm just trying to make sense of that way of operating.
Yes. Okay, I hear you, Commissioner, and I hope I'm not laboring on the wrong point, excuse me. But what I'm trying to get at is, we were only aware of this customs detention notice after our search. The detention notice, when I looked through the inquiry, is dated the 23rd of June. So at the time of us conducting this search or inspection of the container, at that stage, none of us knew that customs had an interest in this container.
I also understood that ORS would know, because the communication, as this consignment is coming, the communication would eventually land at ORS, and ORS will inform whoever it informs. That's how I've understood that. So through ORS, there would have been communication on the system that this consignment is coming and this is flagged for reason A, B, C, D. Is that not your understanding of how it works?
That's difficult for me to answer, Commissioner, but I would say that in not all cases that we've encountered are customs and SEPs on the same page. To give you an example practically, it sometimes happens that it clashes, like SEPs is interested in a certain container, and then you learn that customs is also now interested. And it's only at the 11th hour when both parties are now interested to go inspect it. So I don't want to mislead the Commission, but I'm saying I don't think there's any system in place, or if there was, Border Police did not tell us, the warehouse manager did not tell us. So I'm saying to the
Well,
Commission,
Border Police couldn't tell you because you didn't speak to them. You didn't involve them at all. So they couldn't have told you.
Border Police is Sergeant Mkize, and
No, Sergeant Mkize is your lift. He's not,
Yes.
he plays no other role than to give you transport, because suddenly you find you have 27 bags to transport. Let's not make his role any bigger than that. He tells us in his statement.
yes.
Yes.
Commissioner,
So he couldn't have said to you
Yeah.
that, no, you know what, this container has been flagged for inspection by ORS. He couldn't have told you that.
Yes. Commissioner, if I may, if I look at the governor's statement, it's page 777, right?
It says only that you asked them to assist with taking these things out of the container and then transporting them. Mkize says exactly the same thing.
Okay, Commissioner, if I may draw your attention to the last sentence on page 777.
Yes.
He says the container they recovered the drugs from was not part of the containers we were to inspect, and we were not part of the operation.
Yes.
So in the same breath, he says it's not the part of the containers he was to inspect.
Yes.
So I'm just drawing an inference. I may be misquoting him, but my thinking is that if he knew that either Border Police was interested in this container or whichever other law enforcement agency, he would have mentioned something to us.
No, that logic is faulty. I'm engaging you on the basis of you saying ORS, Border Patrol did not inform us, and I say, but you did not speak to Border Police. These are police on the ground. So when you say Border Police did not inform us that this container has been flagged, you're not talking about the patrol people who are going to be inspecting specified containers. You must be talking about someone in an office who is responsible to tell you this is what's happening on the ground. There is that container that we have flagged for inspection.
None of that was brought to our attention, Commissioner.
Because you did not speak to the right people in ORS. Simple.
But,
You didn't call the commander, the border commander. I think, in fact, this in this ORS process, we have learned that the intelligence gets the information. Intelligence speaks to the ORS commander, informs them, and then you guys go on to operationalize what is happening. So, when you say ORS did not inform us, I'm picking a problem with you that you want to equate Mkhize and Govender as, well, we did speak to ORS, they didn't tell us anything.
No,
when in
not
fact
that.
all they were was transport.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. So, at the end, where we land is the only people who were present in this operation were the DPCI members led by yourself and Captain Duma from Crime Intelligence. Would I be?
And warehouse staff.
And warehouse staff, absolutely.
yes, that's
and that
correct.
is Ms. Pillay.
Not only Ms. Pillay, some other warehouse staff as well.
That the manager was Ms. Pillay.
Yes, that's correct.
Now, in your experience, you have done drug busts before, particularly at the port, and I take it that the port is a point of entry of goods for commerce.
Yes.
You accept that?
Yes.
At which point, must you engage the owner of the container? Because the container is carrying, I will take it, valuable commercial commodity. In your experience, is it necessary to tell the owner that we are about to break your seal? Or you break the seal and you tell them afterwards?
No, by experience, you need to inform either the clearing agent or the consignee, but basically the person who's responsible for that container needs to be aware that it is going to be searched.
And who was that person in this instance?
In
Do
this
you recall the clearing agent or the consignee?
At that point in time, the clearing agent was the custodian of that said container. And I took Captain Duma's word that, yes, he had phoned the relevant parties and now he had spoken to the warehouse manager. And when we did arrive there, she was familiar with what, we expected of her. So in my mind, Commissioners, it was a consensual or voluntary search that was agreed upon.
So you didn't consider yourself, you're about to break a seal
Yes.
of a private cargo. You did not consider yourself duty-bound to at least satisfy yourself that you had the requisite authorization from the owner of the container.
No, I didn't go to that.
Why
extent.
not?
I took it for granted that the warehouse manager was around assisting us, aware of what was happening, and Captain Duma further indicated that he had spoken to the transporter and the clearing agent. So to me, all parties that had an interest or were possible custodians of this container were aware and had given consent to search.
And what if Captain Duma was misleading you deliberately because he knew that you will take responsibility for breaking that seal? Did you ever consider that as a possibility? His job is to provide the intelligence. He testified here yesterday to be present when that seal is broken and the container opened and to satisfy himself whether his intelligence was correct. Beyond that, he's got absolutely no role. So you take full responsibility for that container.
Yes, I didn't go do any further or make further inquiries to ensure that his version of events was correct. I did not.
You are aware that the clearing agent said they were never informed, engaged with, and they only learned of the seal being broken, the container being broken into after the fact on the 23rd of June.
Commissioner, it's only when watching the commission that I became aware of that, and I want to explain why. During the course of this investigation, I eventually obtained statements from the transporter, the clearing agent, the consignee, all of them. And none of them, even this from Mega Freight, the representative that came through on the 1st of July, none of them expressed any dissatisfaction with the container being opened. At no stage did any one of them. In fact, they were grateful that the police had intercepted this rather than it reaching one of their companies or the company name being tarnished because it was found on their premises. So none of them voiced any displeasure at our search.
I'm not interested in particular in whether or not they voiced a displeasure. I'm interested in whether you knew who the authorized person for that container was. And your investigation diary would seem to suggest you knew. You knew it was Mr. Flowerday of Megaflight. You reflect that.
Yeah.
On the 1st of July 2021, if we go to CHC268 at page 803, the entry there at the bottom is dated 0107, and it's actually countersigned by you on the overleaf at page 804.
Yes, that's correct, Commissioner.
And your inquiry file
Yes.
shows that you obtained a statement from Mr. Flowerday of Megaflight.
That's correct.
And in that statement, he states that he was not informed. So you can't have learned from this commission.
No, sorry, Commissioner, maybe I missed it. In the inquiry file, let me have a look at what it's.
I'll give you a reference for
Okay.
Mr. Flowerday's statement. If you go to CJC 244.25, that will be page 654. And it's a handwritten statement, 654. That at 656 is dated 27 October 2025. That's his second statement.
Yes.
Do you see that?
Yes, I've got it.
That is the 2025 statement. But if you go back
Yes.
to 595, you will find his first statement.
Apokesilo, we sat until late yesterday. Bear with us
Okay.
when you move.
Commissioner, if it's any consolation to you, I sat with you till late yesterday. I apologize. The point I'm making is there are two statements.
Yes.
The one statement is the one at 654. That is a 2025 statement.
Yes.
But if you look at that statement, it says at paragraph 3, I would like to further my statement I submitted on previous occasion. That's at 654.
Yes.
So then we have to go find the first statement. And I'm saying the first statement is at page 595.
Yes.
You have located that.
I've got it, Commissioner.
And this is undated, unfortunately. No, it's dated May 2022 at 1445.
Okay.
You see that?
595, Commissioner.
595.
Yes.
Overleaf at 596, that's where you find the date.
Okay. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I've seen.
Now, you were aware of Mr. Flowerday of Megaflight by the existence of that human being by the 1st of July 2021.
Yes, that's correct, Commissioner.
What did he tell you about this operation and the breaking of that seal?
He never voiced any dissatisfaction. He came through with laborers to unpack the rest of the container. So at no stage was I aware of his displeasure at our inspection.
Why do you insist on displeasure? I mean,
okay.
you call them, I think earlier you called them role players. Is he not an important role player? You just said that's one of the entities you must obtain permission from. I would have assumed that
Yes.
when you conduct your inquiry, you at least would satisfy yourself that there's been compliance in that regard, because you tell us that thus far you have just simply relied on what Captain Duma told you.
Yes, I did rely on that, Commissioner.
Yeah, now, by 1st of July,
Yes.
you know the responsible person from Megaflight.
Yes.
Why did you not obtain a statement from him?
I'm going to just check quickly, Commissioner, if I did eventually. Sure, I did obtain an, years it, I think so. Sure, I did obtain a statement from Mega Freight.
Okay, are you in the inquiry file?
I'm looking at my inquiry file.
Yeah.
Yes.
You can give
Yeah.
us the statement number. I'll try and check it down.
No, I see. I did. There's a whole lot of liaison between myself and Mega Freight. I see. There's a whole lot of liaison. I say one of my entries. She indicated that it would be finalized, meaning the statement, and couriered to our office by 21st of the 12th. Prior to that, I said made numerous calls to her. The person from Mega Freight agreed that the affidavit would be finalized by 1500. There's a whole lot of diary entries, but I don't seem to have got a final statement there. I didn't get it.
Okay, we'll try and see if there was a statement then before this one that we have. But what we have at 595 at the last paragraph,
Yes,
that is Mr. Flowerday's statement.
yes.
It reads, in this matter, I was not informed of the container inspection on the 22nd of June 2021, the day the drugs was seized as CHC container depot. I only received the instruction to attend inspection on 23rd day of June 2021. That was not your instruction. You didn't have an inspection on the 23rd, did you?
No. Not on the 23rd, Commissioner.
So the operation of the 22nd, he was not involved or informed of it.
Yes, I see that.
You see that?
Yes, I do.
Is that a concern?
Yes, it is a concern. I was of the impression that all the entities were informed accordingly.
Can I just ask,
Yes,
why should the clearing and forwarding agent be informed that you're going to be opening their container?
They are the custodians or the ones that basically take responsibility on behalf of the consignee from the time it had left the country of origin. So it's only proper that they are made aware and either give consent. We've had lots of cases because the clearing agent is not based anywhere close to Durban. You would get them sometimes giving you authority to just search or other times sending a representative. So in this case, I didn't do my due diligence, Commissioner.
You didn't do what you should have done, which was you as the person in charge should have satisfied yourself
Yes, I should.
that the clearing agent has agreed to this.
Yes, Commissioner.
And I think, thank you, Commissioner Baloy. The answer to that question, actually, Mr. Flowerday gives us still at page 595.
Yes.
And it's consistent with what you say. We are at paragraph 3, that big paragraph that starts with my duties will also, you see where I'm reading?
Yes, I can
Okay,
see.
now if you go to the bottom, third line from the bottom of that paragraph, it says, under no circumstances the officials will break the container seal without me being present, as I will be representing the client who's the owner of the shipment in the container. The official will either call for unpacking of the container or grant tailboard exam without unpacking. Whatever that may be. But the key thing here is under no circumstances must it be opened in his absence.
Yes, I see that, Commissioner.
If you go to the next paragraph, midway, that would be the third sentence of that paragraph, says after then it is opened and inspected, the container will be resealed with a new seal. I, Flowerday, will then prepare the inspection report and invoice the clearing agent. So it would seem that besides being the owner, there is an inspection report that must be completed. You see that?
Yes, I see that.
Do you have a challenge with that suggestion that there is a requirement for a clearing report, an inspection report, rather?
Yes, I was not aware that it's something that was required, Commissioner.
Do you, as the DPCI, have a requirement that an inspection report be compiled?
No, that's not one of our criteria. That's not something that's adhered to at all times.
At all times?
Yes.
So you adhere to it sometimes?
It's in cases where the clearing agent has a representative to send over. There are other times where they just grant you permission as long as the warehouse supervisor is present.
No, my question is slightly different. I think I'm interested in the notion of an inspection report. You, as the DPCI, when you go opening containers at the harbor,
Yes.
do you have a requirement to have an inspection report compiled? I would like to believe that the purpose of that document is to at least explain your conduct.
Yes.
Is there no such requirement for DPCI members?
I have not come across it, Commissioner. I have not.
You're not. Is there a requirement? Isn't there?
It looks like when I read this, but I haven't come across it. I don't know what it even looks like, this inspection report.
Are you aware that the ORS at the harbor has that requirement? And in this regard, I would like to refer you to CJC 246. And that's an earlier, the nearest one, but it's the earlier SOP. But I believe you did say that you have some experience in searching containers at the harbor.
Yes.
So if you go to paragraph 7.2 of CJC, did I say 246? Yeah. 249. In fact, I'm going to correct that. I know what Commissioner Kumalo was talking about now, about a long day. It's the ORS, the ORS SOP. That will be CJC 255. 255. At page 686, correct. And I'm interested in particular in that ORS at paragraph 7.2 at 692. You see that?
Yes, I can.
And that ORS tells me of the formality associated with inspection of these containers, at least insofar as ORS Durban Harbour is concerned. If you look at paragraph 7.2, and I'll just extract a few points here, at bullet point 2. So the depot inspection team will receive the police stop inspections, right? And then overleaf, it says, first bullet point at the top, the inspection report is dispatched from the admin profilers once the container has been booked for inspection at the licensed depot. You see that?
Sorry, Commissioner, I lost you there. We're looking at page?
We started at page 690,
Okay.
and I've turned over look at 691.
Yes.
The very first bullet point at the top.
Yes, I see it now.
All right. And then that's the one that says an inspection report is dispatched. And then lists what must be contained in the inspection report.
Yes.
The information. And you are saying to me that DPCI doesn't have that formality.
Yes. I've not seen this before, but I see there is an onus on us to complete something of this nature.
And I'm reading from the ORS Durban Harbour SOP. I want to know whether DPCI has got similar formal processes, or do you just ride roughshod?
I've never seen this inspection report. I would think it may be unique to border police, but I'm not 100% certain.
I'm asking about DPCI.
No,
I tell you
haven't
this
seen
is
it.
border police.
Yes.
This is ORS Durban Harbour. And I'm reading the SOP. All I'm trying to determine is, do you have anything similar? Are you this formalized?
No,
Or
we
do you
don't.
just ride roughshod over these
No, we don't have this type of, but if I may add, if I look at all of this that's required on this inspection report,
Yes.
we do have all of this on hand.
What do you have?
In the inquiry, there's an inquiry number, there's a member in charge of the inquiry, there's a container number, there would be a size of the container, what was the container stop for, narcotics, the risk factor, the commodity declared, and the place of examination.
And where is that information captured? All that information?
I'm saying it wasn't captured at that
No,
stage.
you say you have it.
Yeah.
Where does DPCI capture all this information?
It
At
would be-
ORS in Durban Harbour, they capture it in an inspection report. Where do you capture it?
Our inquiry would carry all of this information.
Doesn't answer my question, Colonel. Where do you capture it? What
No,
document?
we
If I
don't
were
have
to
a-
talk, my apologies.
Yeah.
If I were to talk to say Brigadier Newton at the Durban Harbour, if it is an ORS-led or inspection, I would ask for the inspection report. But if it is a DPCI-led operation, and I speak to your final boss, what do I ask for? To obtain that very information that you say you have
Yes.
already. What's the document I ask for? Is there one to ask for in the first place?
No, there's no document.
There isn't.
Yes,
So it's information that is there, but it's scattered all over.
that's correct.
Okay.
Can I just follow up on this? So, except for the investigation diary, and assuming for purposes of what I'm putting to you now, that it is an accurate, it contains an accurate contemporaneous notes or reflection
Yeah.
of what happened on the dates that are claimed to have recorded this. Except for that, it seems to me about this operation in particular,
Yeah.
that there is in fact no other record of what happened at the scene. And the scene being where you found these drugs.
Aside from the affidavits of various
Yeah, the
individuals.
affidavits are much later.
Yeah.
You see, we're having a discussion here. You're having a discussion with the evidence leader about an inspection report. And in 7.2, it is clear in 7.2 that this is a document or this information is completed during the inspection, right? It tells you inspection is to be conducted within these hours, and then you must then record all of these things. That's at least how I read it. And I'm asking you that in this particular operation, all we have is that investigation diary. We have nothing that is the equivalent of this kind of inspection report.
You are correct.
I am correct.
Yes.
Thank you.
Advocate Silo, can I just follow up? Colonel, this document, the SOP, Standard Operating Procedures, you say you've never seen this before.
I've never.
And this one, we can accept that it belongs to ORS, Operational Response Services. Does the PCI have a similar document that sets out what you must do when you go to a drug bust at a port or a similar facility?
That's a good question, Commissioner. In fact, there's nothing in place in terms of a memorandum of understanding between ourselves, border police, customs. So we did sit around the table, I would think, maybe 1 year ago. We've had some deliberations with senior officials from customs, the brigadier that's in charge of the harbor as well. We're in the process of drafting something. So there was nothing formalized to basically dictate how do we work, how do we approach these sort of interdictions at the harbor or at depots.
So are you saying to us, you do as you please? If you hear that there are drugs at a port or at a depot rather, you just go there and you do as you please and you exercise your discretion?
You know, I think that maybe, I don't want to put it too loosely, like there's no order in the way we work. There's
Obviously within the confines
Yes.
of policing.
Yes, there isn't really any memorandum of understanding or any standard operating procedure or any document that would guide us exactly who goes there first, who do you call out next. For now, it's verbal agreements. We got understandings with the border police, but there isn't any formalized document that talks to how do we jointly approach these type of
But did
cases.
you not consider yourself duty bound, seeing that you had never led an operation of this nature? You said to Chair earlier that you had participated, but you had never yourself led an operation of this nature. Did you not consider yourself duty bound to communicate with the relevant stakeholders so that you know what to do when you get there, who to contact and what not to do?
I should have done that, Commissioner. I did not. I took it for granted. I've been watching my members do it all along. I went there and I just did the
Because
same.
it goes back to that perception you mentioned in your affidavit that the way things were done in this operation leads one to believe that this was all deliberate. It was all part of a plan to seize those drugs, not book them in a police station, book them in a place where they are susceptible to theft and break-ins, and they have disappeared, as we know,
Yes.
because no proper procedures were followed. Are you even bound by the national instruction applicable to drug seizures as DPCI?
Yes, definitely. The national instructions apply to the police holistically.
Now, sitting here today, focusing only on what you have covered with Advocate Sillo, up to the point where you take the drugs out of the containers.
Yes.
Sitting here today, can you say to us that you complied fully with that national instruction?
Honestly, no, Commissioner.
No.
I haven't complied fully.
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Kumalo. If we could just then complete this little exercise, and it really is for my benefit to understand how things are done at the DPCI. And as Commissioner Kumalo points out, it starts at the harbor when you open that container. And it stretches all the way to the weekend of the 6th to the 8th of November, when there's a break-in at Port Shepstone offices to steal. And we are looking at what happened at which step. And that is the purpose of this exercise.
Yes, Commissioner.
And as Commissioner Kumalo points out, to determine whether or not that eventual theft was purely coincidental or was it set up from the beginning, the answer will depend on the answer to that particular question will depend on the information you provide to the commissioners to make that call.
I understand.
So they would appreciate your assistance.
Yes, Commissioner.
So then staying at page 691, just then we have dealt with the first bullet point in the listing, duties of the inspection team upon inspection of profiled containers at licensed depots, right? And I'll say, to your fairness, there is a notion in the SOP as to what is a profile container. It goes through a process, it's profiled, identified, and then it's selected for inspection. So that is the official process. But I'm sure you'll agree with me that this particular container, through the intelligence of Captain Duma, was quote unquote profiled. It was one of 10 containers being brought on that vessel, the Ludo.
Yes.
You are aware of that?
Yes, I'm aware.
And it is the only container that you were directed to search.
Yes, that's correct.
Would you accept then, therefore, it was ice? And I put that in quotation marks, it was profiled.
I would think to some degree, yes, Commissioner.
So then here in terms of ORS, what would be proper procedure, appropriate procedure for dealing with a profiled container? If you go to the 5th bullet point, at ORS, they say, amongst other things, the type of inspection conducted must be endorsed in the inspection report. You see where I'm reading?
Yes, I can see,
And
Commissioner.
in parentheses, full unpack, comma, tunnel or tailboard inspection. Do you know what those are? Are you familiar with the terms?
Yes, I have a vague idea. Tunnel examination, full unpack of the tailboard. I have an idea.
Okay. The bullet points following actually do it for us. I ask because I'm wholly unfamiliar. A full unpack is when all goods in the container is unpacked and placed within the depot facility for easy accessibility and proper inspection of the goods by the inspection teams. Then it adds, and to also allow the capacity of K9 unit to search the container for possible detection of narcotics. Second subpoint, a tunnel examination is when either the left side of the container is unpacked in order for easy accessibility and proper inspection of the goods by the inspection teams, and to also allow the capacity of the K9 unit to search the container for possible detection of narcotics. They inform us. Is it correct? Would it be correct to conclude that you did, according to this definition, a tailboard inspection of that container?
Yes, it would seem like it wasn't a tunnel inspection, so it was a tailboard.
Sorry, I missed that.
It was not a tunnel inspection or a tunnel examination.
Yes.
It was this tailboard inspection.
Tailboard.
Yes.
And
What is a tailboard inspection?
Say yes, a full unpacked tunnel. It's one side of it where you open. That's my understanding. I could be mistaken, but we just opened the doors, and then we saw what was lying on top. We took it out, and then we just merely inspected it at that stage. We didn't do a full unpack. I could be wrong, but that's my layman's understanding of it.
I understood so as well. There is some document we read earlier, and we read that word. I thought that was the understanding when it's packed at the opening of the container. Upon opening the container is the first thing you see.
Yes.
But I'll cross-check that overnight just to confirm. So on that definition, you conducted a tailboard inspection.
Yes,
Correct.
yes, Commissioner, yes.
How did you know at the time that there was nothing beyond what you could see, those bags? Why did you decide that it doesn't require a full unpack or a tunnel as described here?
Okay, just by virtue of my observations, Commissioner.
So what exactly did you observe?
Okay, when we did unpack those 27 canvas bags, you could see these bags of 50-kilo bags of animal feed, and it's got a peculiar smell. It's got a peculiar texture, color, all of that, and you got a little bit of this residue coming out of the bags as well. So that's what I noticed. These bags you could clearly see there were some product. It's got that food kind of smell to it, like dog food sort of. So it was merely by visual observation and looking through and seeing there's no anomalies in the rows that were packed, there's no height differences. It was not a thorough inspection, but we did come back to further inspect it on the 1st of July.
Why? Why did you go back on the 1st of July?
For the purpose of being thorough, to make sure that nothing further was there, also to release this container to the intended consignee.
What I don't understand is why did you not find the need on the 22nd of June to be that thorough? Why did you have this brainwave a week later?
Okay. Commissioner, if you look at it, it was 5,395 50-kilogram bags.
But that you discover only after you unpacked.
I know
not before.
we had the packing list, Commissioner, so we were aware.
Sorry, if I may say, but you didn't know that on the 22nd of June, did you?
We had the packing list. We did
Still.
know it. Yes,
Okay.
yes, Commissioner.
So you were already aware of the number of bags. You just decided you are not doing that unpacking today. You're going to take what you found when you opened the container, seal the container, and you're off. You'll come back on another day. Was that like the approach you adopted for the day?
Yes, but may I clarify?
Okay, absolutely.
Okay. The moving of such a volume of bags, despite what other witnesses may have said here, no warehouse is going to just let you utilize their staff for how many hours when it doesn't benefit them really. So the onus is up to, like, I'll give you an example. When it comes to counterfeit goods, you get the brand attorneys, the brand agents that come through with laborers that they employ for this specific purpose. So it's not light work to move 5,000 somewhat 50-kilogram bags. So if we had done it then, the majority of our labor and our time would have gone, would have been wasted, not wasted, but would have we would have been offloading bags for hours and hours instead of focusing on the narcotics that we've just seized. I was satisfied. My members also did look in there. We sealed the container. So in my mind, we had, and generally rip on, rip off works like that, Commissioner. In my experience, what you see in the front of the container, 10 out of 10 times it was what was in the container. So yes, I did not do a proper, thorough unpack or inspection of the rest of the container. I didn't do it at that stage.
You've just said something that I find quite startling. You say that no warehouse is going to allow you to, what, I'll paraphrase, search in the manner in which you want to, if it is not to their benefit. It's that last part that I want to focus on. And there I'm not paraphrasing, those are your words.
Yes.
If it is not to their benefit.
Okay, maybe my choice of word, Chair, was not correct. My point was...
And I say that's startling because I cannot see how crime detection could or is to depend on the benefit of the warehouse.
My apologies, Chair. It's not benefit. The point I was trying to make is that the depots are not forthcoming with laborers if you want to do a full unpack, especially when it comes to voluminous commodities like we did have here. So you need to get your own laborers. You need to get your own manpower to unpack.
It may actually not be a mistake that you say this, because somewhere, let me just look. I hope I won't mess up your probing.
Not at all, Chair.
Ms. Sillo.
Thank you.
So what you just said now actually accords with what you say in your statement. Somewhere in your statement, I hope to find it just now. Somewhere in your statement, you say that you did not want to prejudice the depot, basically, the operations of the depot.
Yes.
So that actually ties in with what you said now about the benefit of the warehouse. This you say in paragraph 21 of your statement. Do you want to go there? There you say, I took the decision not to cordon off and close the depot. I did not want to prejudice the company by closing them down for the rest of the day, as they were not suspects in the matter. So it actually ties in with your statement about the benefit of what you call now the warehouse.
I think
So you were actually not making a mistake when we spoke about the benefit of the warehouse.
it was just a wrong choice of...
But have you had a look at the first two sentences of paragraph 21? Please do so now.
Yes,
Your statement prepared for the commission.
Yes.
But do you see that the two are basically similar in substance?
Yes, I noticed that, sir.
So you should accept when I say to you that when you spoke about the benefit of the warehouse, you are not making a mistake. This is something that's in your head, which is why you would have it in your statement in paragraph 21. It can't be a mistake. You can't repeat the same mistake.
I didn't, that was not my intention when I said benefit.
I mean, when you prepare a written statement, you sit down, you think it's true, and then you put it's no longer pen to paper now. It's clicking keys on your iPad, laptop, or whatever. So you can't talk about a mistake in paragraph 21, can you?
Yes, no, this is not a mistake.
Yeah. Now you've just accepted that this ties in with what you said about the benefit to the warehouse. You remember you just accepted that now.
Yeah.
So if it's not a mistake in paragraph 21, it can't be a mistake when you said it here. Can it be?
May I be allowed to...
The two basically say the same thing.
Yes.
So you can't say the one, which is what you just said now, is a mistake. But this one in paragraph 21 is not a mistake.
May I comment to this?
Yes, yes.
Okay, I think the point I'm trying to drive through, Chair, is that not every company has the manpower to spare or to do it efficiently enough especially with the movement of over 5,050 kilogram bags. So that was just my point, that they're not too keen on doing it as well, so that's what I was trying to drive, that is why we didn't do it at that point. We know that normally for this type of unpack, you need to be prepared with your own laborers. So I did not intend that way, but I was mindful. And then in the same breath, I'd say I was mindful, especially at this stage when it came to paragraph 21, about closing this company off for the rest of the day. Yes, I was mindful of that.
I will engage you further. It's just that I do not want to disturb Ms. Silo's probing.
Chair, you may proceed, otherwise we will pick it up again tomorrow, but it's not disturbing my flow at all.
Oh, thank you. Do you accept that the optimal way to perform the search and work the crime scene was to do that at location? Do you accept that?
Yes,
That is where the container was.
I accept that, Chair.
Or at the most, to just remove it where it was, because you say there was a container this side and another container this side. Maybe to just move it even before opening it to where there would be enough space for you to do a proper cordoning off,
Yes.
correct?
You are correct, Chair.
And would you say there wasn't sufficient space for you to move the container in that manner?
Yes, Chair.
There was.
No, there wasn't.
There wasn't. So all the space that was available was the space where there were containers along each other and not any other space anywhere else within that entire precinct at the depot. Is that what you are saying?
No, I'm not saying that, Chair.
That's exactly what I'm asking you.
Yes,
So
no, there
was
wasn't.
there space for you to move the container from where there were containers on either side
Yes.
within the precinct?
I didn't fully inspect it, but I would.
No. I'm talking about space. Was there space for that?
I would think so.
So you could have moved the container.
Yes.
And
Chair.
then you would have had enough space to cordon off that area where you had moved it to.
Yes.
Not so.
Yes.
Now you've accepted that the optimal thing for you to do was to do it at location. And now you've just admitted or accepted also that you could have moved it to have enough space to cordon off so that you are not obstructed by containers on either side. So you've accepted that as well. And now you've said, or rather, and you inspect, search, conduct the operation on location, not for the sake of it. You do not do that for the sake of it. There are practical considerations for that, correct?
Yes.
And for example, there should be no tampering with fingerprints and DNA before the LCRC has checked for these. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct, Chair.
Now, here you did not call LCRC. You've said that. Paragraph 7 of your statement of the 23rd of June 2022. Your statement of 22 June 2022. Paragraph 7. Page 648 of Exhibit File 2. You say in so many words that you did not call LCRC, correct?
Yes, yes, Chair.
Here's what you say: I did not request LCRC to attend the scene. The first sentence of paragraph 7. You see that?
Page?
Page 648. Exhibit File 2.
Yes, I see it, Chair.
So now you accept that it's important for the LCRC to check for the DNA and fingerprints on location. The reason for that, obviously, is that there should be no tampering. The LCRC, wherever possible, should be able to uplift the fingerprints and the DNA, if there is any, if there are any.
Yes.
Correct?
Yes, Chair.
Now, when exhibits are handled before the LCRC has uplifted the fingerprints and DNA, there are chances, or rather, there may be chances of successfully uplifting these. That is, if the LCRC works on the exhibits before they have been handled or moved. You accept?
I do.
But if it's the opposite that has happened, that is, if they have been cached, handled, and moved, or moved, the chances of that happening may be brought to naught. Is that correct?
You are correct, Chair.
Now, at the time you did this, that is, choosing not to call LCRC, handling and moving these exhibits, what were you thinking about the utility of allowing LCRC to first check for fingerprints and DNA? What were you thinking about the utility of that?
Okay. Chair, it's my answer. It may not be accepted well, but in my experience, all of these cases, although, like I indicated, I may not have investigated hands-on these cases. I've inspected them. I've, on numerous occasions, when these cases are generated, I have sight of them. Even if I give you 20 report floats that we had addressed or seized, made seizures at, in not one of these cases, not one, have we ever received any feedback by way of LCRC in terms of fingerprints uplifted or DNA. And Chair, I'm going to go a little further to explain why as well. I'm not sure why they didn't give us any feedback, but as a detective, from my point of view, I'm saying it's you've got a very slim to none chance of objectively linking your suspect to those drugs that were found in a rip-on-rip-off load. There's no way to distinguish between fingerprints or DNA, more especially in the container, fingerprints or DNA that belong to your suspects and those that belong to legitimate port officials who had loaded the legitimate commodity in the container. So I'm not sure whether that plays a role in it, but part of my decision not to call them was based on the fact that out of every single case of rip-on, rip-off that we had handled, we've received nothing by way of fingerprints or DNA.
So Colonel Jacob says, I am taking my own decision and I am not going to allow the ordinary and ordinarily applicable process of having the LCRC to come to the scene and do their work before I handle these goods. I'm taking it upon myself as Colonel Jacob to, or rather, not to heed that process. That applies. That is an applicable principle. I, as Colonel Jacob, am not going to follow that.
Chair, that's one of those decisions that I said to you, I will rule for the rest of my life. So,
you see, the problem is, it may be easy for you to say that that's a decision you'll rule for the rest of your life. The problem is we want to get behind the why. There's a big why in all of this. One, I engaged you earlier on the available storage spaces. There as well, by the way, no, I'm talking about my notes. I've not done it yet. I'm talking about my notes on something I want to engage you on, but I will not do it now. But it was quite plain when Ms. Sildo was engaging you that you did not inquire about the capacity of the other places. Now I remember what I engaged you on were the distances. And you accepted when I engaged you that the one police station within Durban was, the furthest was 24 kilometers. Yes. The other 20, another one lesser.
Yes.
And there as well, you didn't really have an explanation as to why you did not go there. Now again, you don't really have an explanation for not following prescripts. And all you say is it's a decision that you will rue for the rest of your life. Bear in mind that in the end, the cocaine or suspected cocaine gets lost. So the question why is very important in connection with all of these steps where there are decisions that you will live to rue for the rest of your life.
Yes, Chair.
So the why is very important. And I'm not saying you stole the cocaine, but we're asking all these questions because there's that question of who stole this cocaine. Do you get what I mean?
I understand, Chair.
Do you want to comment on that?
What can I say? I think I'll leave it at that, Chair. But just to say that it may have been a sense of complacency that set in, or familiarity with, I know this is how these cases go, and that's why I made that decision that I did. However, I see there's no benefit in taking any shortcuts. And I can see how it does not look good to the Commission. These little...
Not the Commission, you.
Yes.
You.
Even for me.
Yes.
Yes. I understand, Chair. Yes, I understand.
Can I just ask something to clarify? What your evidence, in fact, is about the LCRC not being called to the scene. Is your evidence, and I ask this question because, depending on your answer, it has the answers have different consequences. Did you make the decision on the scene not to call the LCRC? That's one possibility, and I'm trying to understand your evidence. Or it never crossed your mind at all that you should be calling them. You just went in and did what you and your people did on the scene. Which one of the two is it?
I'll say, Commissioner, I saw them as a investigative aid that at that point in time was not priority based on the fact that we had recovered this amount of drugs. We didn't have exhibit bags to seal it in. I didn't want to send members out searching every station for exhibit bags. I saw that the police station was 4 kilometers away.
Yeah, sorry, my question is different. My question is, did you make a decision to not call the LCRC? It's yes or no. We know for a fact they were not there. And I'm asking you a question of, were they not there because you considered it and you made the decision not to call them?
At the scene, yes, I made a decision not to call them, Commissioner.
Okay, so you acted in breach of the nation. You made the decision to act in breach of the of the instruction that says you should call the LCRC.
Correct.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chair.
It may not be yes.
Oh, no,
No, please.
no, I'm quite aware of the time, and I was saying before the Chair orders us to rise for the day, I just wanted to finish off this particular topic with one question.
You are aware that we have a scheduled meeting for 3:15.
Oh, right. Judging by the Chair's questions, I thought that meeting was... But a very brief one.
No, yes.
Thank you. Colonel, if you go to your paragraph 35, and we have spoken about this, it's your return to the depot on the 1st of July.
What page number, Commissioner?
Your statement now?
Yeah.
Page 6, paragraph 35. It's the 1st of July, 2021. You are back at the depot with the container. Are you there? Your statement to the Commission?
Yeah, looks like it.
Original statement. Page 6 of his statement, paragraph 35.
Statement is on what page, Commissioner?
Tab 3 of the consolidated statements.
It's this one.
Can you read the screen? Can you read the screen?
My eyesight.
There's one closer to you.
Okay, yes, I can. Yeah.
Okay, and I read out some of it to you. You say, on my return from work, I took over the investigation. Bangaze made it known that he was leaving. Then, third line, on 1st July 21, I proceeded to the CHC depot with Bangaze and Sibia. I had arranged that the clearing agent, Megafreight, send a representative to unpack the container, and we conducted a count of 50 kg bags of animal feed. They amounted to 5395 bags, which corresponded with the packing list. Why did you go back to that container? You don't state here why you went.
Okay. Commissioner, if there was deception involved on the part of the consignee, the clearing agent, in terms of maybe a shortfall in the number of bags, I'm just giving you an example. Instead of 5,395 bags, they've now had 5,200 bags, or even a lesser amount. Then it would indicate to me that maybe they had made allowance for the carting of this cocaine to South Africa. So it would have shown that the fact that their packing list does not correspond with what's on or the number of bags does not correspond with what's on the packing list, there is a possibility that they may have knowledge what's in there, because remember, eventually they're going to receive their commodity. And if there's bags short, one would expect them to complain. And no cartel wants your consignee knowing that you used his container to cart drugs in. So that would have given me the impression that it's possible that our clearing agent or our consignee had knowledge about what was in the container. But the fact that their number of bags corresponded with the shipping documentation, the packing list, to me was an indicator that there was no deception on their part.
Now, but then the consignee, it's the recipient of the goods.
That's correct.
But they don't even know because they haven't had sight of the content of that container, remember? You opened the container in their absence and you resealed it.
That's correct.
Now, you are doing what sounds like customs work. Why are you busy counting animal feed bags? You mentioned to Commissioner Baloyi earlier about the SARS detention notice. You recall that?
Yes.
And it's a list of all those 10 containers.
Yes.
Why didn't you forward that inquiry to SARS to verify for you whether every container, because inter alia that they would check, corresponds to the shipping documents? Why must you go and count 5,000 bags?
I think purely because, Commissioner, we were the ones who initially are responsible for that container by virtue of taking out the canvas bags, resealing it. We were the one or I was the one that took that decision. So the actual releasing of the container and ensuring that there's nothing further in that container, and to ensure that this consignee was not doing it, or declared his goods accurately on the SAD 500 and the packing list, was my duty to ensure that there was no red flags with these entities.
Okay. You did not detain that container, correct?
No, I did not.
It was never your responsibility to release it because you never detained it.
If I'm not mistaken, Commissioner, I could be wrong, but SARS were done with their detention and
I'm
inspection.
interested in your responsibility to that container. You never detained it, so I say you didn't have the responsibility to release it. By then, SARS had detained it. It then became SARS's responsibility. Why are you meddling in those issues?
I was not, SARS did not make us aware that they were still interested in it. I did have engagements with them, Commissioner. I'm sure if they still wanted to inspect it, I would have availed the container to them. But I think their interest had waned since we had found those drugs on it.
Did you issue a release notice for this container as DPCI? I can tell you for free that it's not in the documents, in the docket or the inquiry file. Do you have a copy of that?
Yes, I can confirm. Since there was no formal detention notice on it from our side, it was a voluntary search. We did not do any formalized release document.
You know there is a release form for
Yeah.
those containers, for this particular container, but not issued by DPCI.
Yes, that release form is after detention notice is placed on a
Yes.
container. Yes, I did
So
not do it.
okay. I think it's Chair, your meeting perhaps in the time. I'm happy to stop here.
Let's adjourn and resume at 9:30 tomorrow.